Hey guys, welcome to another video for Defensive Concepts Training. Once again, I am Weston.
And I am Hayden.
We have a little bit of an interesting video for you guys today. We're talking about concealed carry. And I'd hate to say our thoughts on it, but our thoughts on it, kind of a little bit of the evolution. I believe we're going to talk about the evolution of our personal concealed carries.
Yep.
What we've settled on now, why we've settled on it, and maybe some changes we'd like to make in the future. I think I have changes. I'm never completely satisfied with anything. I'm constantly looking for change.
Yep.
And I think you're kind of that same sort of a way.
Very much, yep.
The Weston of 2 years ago, 3 years ago, would have hated seeing a red dot on a pistol. And now that's what I usually use. Yeah. So that's been a big change in my concealed carry sort of mindset over the past few years. Why don't you go ahead and start us off over there, man?
Yeah. So the first pistol I ever bought was my Smith & Wesson 1.0. It's going to be retired here soon, but
talk a lot about us on the channel.
Yes,
there's a reason why it's going to be retired soon.
Yes, very, very big reason. But I used to carry this in an old school incog holster from G Code.
Okay.
It was the partnership holster with Haley Strategic, and so I carried it appendix. It is a bigger
holster.
Yes. Yeah, I carried it appendix. I didn't have a weapon light. Never have had a weapon light on this one. Mostly because I was a poor college student, and unfortunately I did the dumb thing and put most of this on a credit card, and then also some cash from our return from the school, or not the school, but whatever it's called, from our loan for the school.
Oh yeah.
If we had any extra, then we could use it as cash, and I was irresponsible with it. And
the grants?
Yes, and bought a gun with it.
Grants or student loans or whatever. I don't know whichever one it was.
Yeah, it was whatever. Yeah, extra cash that I had from that that should have went towards bills went to buying a gun. So
listen to us for more financial advice.
Yes, we're experts. So I had a G Code holster for this. It's somewhere. It broke. It honestly disintegrated. I'm serious. The screws on it for the clips disintegrated. I carried it hunting. I would put it on my backpack, outer belt. Like, there's a reason why it fell apart. And so, sorry.
You said it fell apart. All gear fills, and that's going to be a very common theme. It's something I've come to really want to preach a lot. It's because a lot of people are like, my gear never has failed. It's because you don't use it.
You haven't used it.
And that's kind of the big thing. And I'm not going to sit here and be like, oh, our gear breaks, so we're better. That's not the point I'm trying to make here. Is if you actually use gear, it's going to fail.
It's going to fail.
Every single piece of gear on this table has failed, exception of the med kit, because I haven't really used haven't used that a whole lot. Every single piece of gear on this table has failed in some way, shape, or form.
Yep, absolutely. And so, it has a thumb safety, never bothered me. It's easy to actuate. It's literally right there within the grip. Don't even have to think about it. It was a little weird carrying concealed because it would kind of dig in a little bit, but it was livable. It's what I had. It's what worked. It was a little bit difficult to conceal with like a t-shirt. So I would wear, some baggier t-shirts around the waist and stuff like that. Especially at one point, I was kind of a fat boy. And
I've been there.
And so it was difficult to conceal in the appendix, so I'd have to turn it to the side a little bit, which isn't really great because you're screwing with your draw stroke and having to clear garments. Don't recommend that. So carried this for quite a long time. I've been pretty open and honest. I feel like I do like M&Ps. I like the way they present. I like the way they feel in the hand. But with some of the issues prior to what we had at the competition that I was having with this, I went back to the tried and true. So now currently, since 2019, I want to say it was 2019, I think. So now this is my concealed carry setup. And I toyed with the idea of getting the 2.0 compact, had it in my hand, almost pulled the trigger on it. But there were some things that I kind of like, I need something that works, that I know is going to work and I'm comfortable with. So I carry a Glock 19.
Common theme here.
Yeah, yep. Yeah, I carry a Glock 19 Gen 5 with a little bit bigger palm swell. I do have fat hands, so I do have the beaver tail on there. I've got scars and stuff from other Glocks, so I do like that protection.
Advantage of the Gen 5 right there.
Yeah, absolutely. The holster that I have is, again, an OG, back when T-Rex Arms was cool.
Okay. My first appendix holster was that. We'll talk about mine too.
Okay, yeah, was the now I'm blanking on what it's called.
It's a sidecar. It's a sidecar style.
Yes.
I don't know if that's what they call them, but it's exactly a sidecar style.
Yep.
Yes.
It's a sidecar. I got their second gen sidecar version. So you have this bolt here that runs through the eyes here, so it'll pivot, right? I learned really quick, I actually really didn't like that feature.
So I'm not a big fan of sidecar holsters. I've had one. If you notice it's not here on the table, it's because I sold it because I wasn't a big fan of it.
Yeah.
They're very bulky, and the ones nowadays have gotten better, and they've like add flex. Like I had a tier 1 concealed.
Oh, yep.
And and they used to just be buttons, and now they've added like Kydex cord, not Kydex cord. The elastic cord.
Yep.
Even then, it's just not that. I don't find them to be that comfortable.
No,
a lot of guys like them, really like them. I don't.
See, and I'll say, so my Incog holster was also a very similar setup, had a Mad Caddy and all that stuff, but it was fixed. And it did okay, but I ended up separating that anyway. And similar to what I did this, when I first got this guy and I started carrying, I did like that it would kind of bend and move with the body. But again, like you're saying, it was so bulky. So sitting down for a period of time, whether it's at church or in a car and you're sitting down, that's just a lot of material to be sitting up front. When you're up walking around, it's not too big of a deal. But the moment you're sitting down for any amount of time, it's very, very uncomfortable. And I understand that there's no concealment holster for a Panx carry that's going to be perfect, where it's going to be, oh man, it's like sitting down with nothing there.
Yeah.
But to have it digging into you, it's just, it's not great.
So there's this old saying, it's carrying a gun is supposed to be comforting, not comfortable.
Yeah.
However, if it's not comfortable to some extent, you're not going to carry
You're
it.
not, absolutely, you're not
So
gonna
it has to be comfortable to some extent. For some people, and every single gun is going to be a sacrifice you make. Like, I don't have it up here, but the one my wife will use when she does carry is a Glock 48 because it's slimmer. It's a lot easier to use than the 19.
Yep, and my wife carries a P365.
Same sort of a gun, right?
Yep.
And I don't, him and I have made lifestyle choices that I think necessitate us to carry larger guns.
Yes.
And then not only that, our personality is definitely more of a, hey, this isn't just for me and my kids. This is, if something big's going on, I need to be able to respond a little bit better.
Yep,
which
absolutely.
I think kind of drives the choices that we have made.
Absolutely. So as far as the weapon setup, again, both my guns here have iron sights. At the time I bought this, I can't remember if there was an MOS there at the gun store where I bought this from. Fortunately, the gun store that I bought this from no longer exists. And it was still, again, around that 2019, 2020 timeframe where dots were starting to become crazy. More people were using it, but it was still kind of like iron sights is kind of the thing.
This was 2020 as well.
Yeah. And
not MOS.
Yes. And so I would love to, and I've looked at many different aftermarket slides to put on here to put a dot on it. And I've also looked at just getting a Glock MOS slide just to slap on.
$120 to mill them too.
Exactly.
It's not expensive. You are permanently modifying the gun.
Right.
However, it's a positive modification.
For sure. But, and Wes and I, we've talked about it a lot. As far as having a weapon light on a concealed carry gun, he doesn't have one. I do. And that's one of the things I think, especially before getting into law enforcement and talking with some of the ex-mil or ex-law enforcement guys at the shop that I worked at, the idea of searching, and also I should bring up the low light class that was taught within the last year or so at our own agency.
Yes.
Most of the time when you're searching with a light, you're not going to be searching with it with a gun. Even in an LE type format, you're going to have a handheld light. You're going to be searching like this, because the last thing you want to do is be pointing that gun around with that light on, right? And muzzle sweeping everybody and all that stuff, right? But I keep the light on there. I went with the Streamlight TLR7A. I'm a big Surefire guy.
Surefire is better than Streamlight.
It is.
Streamlight's half the cost.
Yeah, Streamlight is half the cost for sure. And Streamlight is definitely one of those things that I will agree to and be like, yeah, no, it is good enough to do the job. And they are durable. And I've had good experience with the TLR7, or not the 7s, TLR1s that are issued on my previous agency's gun and the current agency that that we're with now. They work great. Toggle switch is a little funky, but
not a fan of it.
it works.
But it's issued and it's free.
And it's free and it works. I chose the TLR7A because it's flush with the muzzle of the gun. It's not protruding out the bottom, so it's more comfortable to conceal. I also like the way it looks.
It looks better, and I also, if I were to get a flashlight, and I've looked at getting them, I would get the same flashlight he has. It's stupid, in my opinion, to have a 19 length slide. This includes the 45s, Glock 45s, with a TLR1 that sticks off about this far.
Yeah.
Just carry the 17.
Yep.
It's going to stick out. This is a 22, but it's going to stand in place of a 17, same length.
Yep.
It sticks out a little bit on the 17 as well.
Yep, it does.
You don't get flush to get to the Glock 34.
No, nope.
It's a little bit longer than, it's a little bit shorter than flush with the Glock 34.
Yep.
But if it's for concealed carry, get the flashlight. It's going to be a little bit flusher with it.
I agree with that.
The TLR7A
It's great.
Is I think like the only really one that's in that market. I can't really think.
I think Olight might, but don't buy an Olight. They're an IED on your gun. Don't do
Don't do Olight.
it. Don't do it.
There's a few companies that I'm just like, don't even bother.
Yep, an Olight
And that's one of them. They are supposedly getting better. I don't have any, and I'm not going to test them.
Yeah, nope.
I just won't carry a light.
No, yep.
Simple solution for me.
So my thought process with the light, it's definitely one of those ones where it's like, I'd rather have it than not need it, especially while shooting irons. You know, you're in a low light situation. Generally, in a defensive situation, you know, I'm not going to be searching for a bad guy. I'm going to be looking for a defensive posture. I'm going to be in an immediate, hey, this is bad news. I've made the decision to pull this from concealment. In my opinion, if you're pulling this out of concealment, unless it's an active shooter and you're moving towards something, right? But that changes the game a lot.
That is entirely different. Different concept, and it should be trained entirely
different. Yep. But if I'm drawing this, say I'm downtown with the wife and kids, and I'm made the decision to pull this out, in my mind, I've already made the decision to shoot.
Yes.
I honestly, I'm not going to pull this out to be like, hey, back off, I've got a gun. I'm not going to brandish it in that matter at all. If I'm pulling this out, I'm pulling it out to do work.
If it gets to the point that I have to pull the gun out, that means we're at it's okay for me to use lethal force stage.
Yes, right.
And every state is different. Every state has their own laws. Idaho is pretty
stand your ground,
pretty generous to the citizen, to the non-bad guy of what that is.
Yes.
And as long as you fall within that, I mean, obviously talk to your attorney, but
yes, we're not
lawyers.
No.
Not smart enough to do that.
No.
But yeah, I'm going to say the same opinion. If I'm drawing my gun, it's because it's time to go to work. It's time to shoot.
Yep. So in the realm of I'd rather have it than not need it. It's not a super powerful light. It's a 500 lumen light. I mean, during the time it came out, it was still, 500 lumens is not a joke, but it's not your 1,000 lumen light with like 900 candela or anything crazy like that.
When my dad started in law enforcement, they had the big old metal, the mag lights. With like the 4 D cells.
Yep.
I don't think those things got more than 100 lumens.
Right.
I don't know, but they're not nearly as bright as that little thing. And we're way too picky. I'm going to be honest, guys. We're way too picky nowadays.
Yeah, I can agree.
It needs to have more lumens. 500 is more than enough for a concealed carry.
Yeah, and we're not having flashlight battles. Well, what if you need to beat a flashlight that has this X amount? Okay, what are we talking about? We might as well have lightsabers at that point, right?
I would conceal carry lights. I'd open carry a lightsaber.
Yes,
I would open carry one.
I would too.
In a heartbeat.
I would too. But I shoot with irons again, and I would definitely do this on it, even if I had a dot. But in a low light situation where I do need to see my sights, and this helps me out, right? That little bit extra light when I present, it gives a little bit of shadow out front where I can probably put my front sight post where I need to put it.
I do have one problem with your setup. I've been told reliably that Glock plastic sights are going to get you killed in the streets. I've been told that.
Yeah.
It's not true.
It's not true at all.
It's not true. They're fine.
It's not. They're
good
totally
enough.
fine.
They're good. Once again, that theme are good enough.
They are.
They work.
They do work. They're not the best. They're not the worst, but they do work. And likelihood of me deploying this in any light situation, it will definitely be after the fact, right? Bad guy goes down. I need to make sure bad guy is down. Light comes on. I've got an on bad guy. I can now see everything in front of me. Sorry if I'm blinding everybody on the camera. But as far as the idea of now I'm searching and assessing and clearing rooms as a concealed carry guy. It's just not the reality. It's not. It's going to be a quick, oh crap, draw, bang, 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 and hopefully it's over at that point.
Maybe you're not the target, so maybe you have more time to conceal and draw. Maybe you have time. Maybe someone else is the target of the thing and you have time to draw. Maybe then you choose to use the weapon light as maybe a source of deterrent. Like, hey freaking dude. Get down on the ground right now. I've got this. The light kind of says, hey, there's a weapon here.
Yes.
But that's also like a unique scenario.
Exactly.
And that sort of a thing.
Exactly. And in most cases, in the scenario that I brought up earlier, if I have my family with me, it has to be like super, super bad for me to want to bring this out because my first priority, honestly, is get them out. Like something bad is going on here. Leave.
The only time that I would not use my concealed carry pistol in the immediate defense of me and my family is if A, I can get them out of the situation quickly.
Yes.
Or B, if it's an active shooter.
Yes.
And once again, that kind of changes things. And you know what? Even then, I might be running with them out to the parking lot.
Yes.
To make sure they're safe, to get them, because unfortunately, guys, things are getting more complex. Active shooters are now using, it's become more of an act of terrorism than anything else. They're getting smarter. Sure. They're using more tactics. They're trapping things. So what used to be a good plan to run away, maybe they have someone at the exit.
Yes.
So what used to be the advice of, hey, wife and kids, get away, I'm going to go to work. That might not be the game anymore. And me personally, my priority is to my wife and kids. I might get them out of the building into a car, and then I'm going to run back inside.
Absolutely.
And then that changes things because then there's cops are showing up then, and then I'm going to have to be very careful to, hey, I'm a good guy. Luckily, him and I are in law enforcement, so it's pretty easy for us to say, hey, dudes, we're cops. I've got my ID right here. And then we just join in with a stack with them or do whatever they have to do if they're already on scene. Or if not, we have to go in there and go to work. Unfortunately, our area did have an active shooter several years ago.
It did.
And it was a very painful learning experience for every agency in the Valley. Just because it was...
it was unexpected that nobody knew how to respond to.
We're in Idaho, guys. This stuff never happens. Well, it happened.
And if you just watch the news, I don't know exactly what date this video will be posted, but there was an active shooter in Wallace, Idaho, this morning.
I saw that. And then also there was the Australia active shooter a while ago. That was more of an act of terrorism, regardless of what the Australian media says. I know a terrorist attack when I see one, regardless of beliefs or anything like that inside. So that's my setup. To talk any further about the gun, he just mentioned that I have the stock sights on here. It's a stock trigger. And it's a Glock, man. It works. It goes bang when you pull the trigger, and it feeds the next round, and it does what it's supposed to do. I guess real quick, I did forget to mention what I do with this guy now. Quite honestly, I this gets left in the backpack, and I think the idea of pockets sometimes get misunderstood or not underutilized. And there's this really nice pocket here. A little coin pocket right there?
Exactly. And I've got my extra mag.
I thought about using the coin pocket. That's a pretty smart idea.
So I've almost ditched this completely unless I feel like I need to have 3 mags, but no. So if I do have a second mag, it's right there and it's ready to go. And that's if I even carry it, because like I said earlier, my priorities are most of the time when I'm carrying, I have my family with me, it's get them out. Get them out. If I need to shoot, I've got the capabilities to do so. But it's a defensive posture. It's not an offensive posture.
That's a very good way of looking at it. Honestly, we have the same sort of general mindset. My concealed carry journey is a little bit more complex because apparently I like to do things the hard way. If you learned from any of these videos. This was my first ever pistol. It's a Springfield 1911 Commander Edition. Years ago when I was a child, my parents, we had to get rid of a dog because he was a violent dog, unfortunately. And at the time, my parents were like, I was like 16, they're like, hey, Weston, we'll get you another dog. Well, I was 18 years old and the time had come for them to pay up. And they said, hey, Weston, do you want a dog or a gun? I was like, I'll take a gun. Heck yeah, dude. And this was back in so this would have been 09, I want to say. I was 18 years old. And I was living in Virginia at the time, so you could legally own a pistol at 18, you just couldn't buy it. It could be a gift. And it was a gift. Well, back in those days, my dad was in law enforcement, and they carried 40 cals, like Glock 40 cals, like this guy right here. Because, you'd have caliber starts with a 4.
Yes, Yeah. Yeah.
And I didn't want a plastic gun because Glocks are ill. And I'm also a history buff. I got my degree in history. I love history. I'm like, I'll take a 1911. This was my first concealed carry pistol. Not great. 7 rounds, very heavy. I carried it in behind the back sort of a thing, an old alien gear behind the back holster. My wife hated it. It was hilarious. I got married later on. When I started carrying it, my wife absolutely hated it because she's like, if you tell me you bend over, it shows. I'm like, that's fair. So I didn't bring it here, but for a while there, I had a little Ruger LCP and I'll throw it in a pocket. Not ideal. He doesn't like Ruger, and I get his belief on. I get where he's coming from. The reason why I sold that one is kept the second one. The first one didn't strike all the primers hard enough. Yeah. The LCP, the custom, they don't make them anymore. That one worked. Yeah. Weirdly enough, and I'm not saying go out and buy them.
That sounds like Ruger.
It's a sub. It's a subpar gun, but it has its niche, and I used it there for a while. Well, I got into law enforcement, and this was my first issued pistol. It's the Glock 20, it's 40 cal. I carried this in an old T-Rex appendix holster, so old it just had one massive fat clip right here, just one massive one, built for the 19. I carried that for a while. I wound up giving that one away because I didn't need any more. Agency went away from the Glock 22s, and then we went to 17s. Same exact size as a pistol, so I'm just using it. I carried that appendix style as well, just right about here. 2020 rolled around, COVID started to happen, and I started to get a little nervous. COVID, I was big into preparedness, and I was watching COVID before people in the US started really noticing how bad it was getting, and I was kind of paying attention. I thought it was going to be the event. I was wrong. We're still here, fortunately.
Were you one of the people that bought all the toilet paper?
There's a story behind that I don't want to get into right now, but there's actually a reason why that happened. It's because of Australia and China, guys. It wasn't America. It's actually hilarious because I actually did research because it pissed me off so much later on.
Rabbit hole.
Rabbit hole. We're not going down there right now. We're talking about concealed carry. So I bought a Glock 19. Same thing as his. No, I got the non-MOS version, plastic sights, everything like that. No flashlight. I carried this concealed carry for a long time. I upgraded eventually to Dawson Precision Sights because of that Tim Herron class I talked about in an earlier video, and I've just stuck with their sights for everything. This right now is just a Filster Pro carry. I like having a little thing on the back. This is one of their RX wedges. I like having something that kind of pushes it into my body a little bit more. I'm an awkward shaped dude. I have short legs and a long torso, and I'm short and I'm wide, and so things just don't really work the way they should. Clothing sizes do not work for me. It's quite annoying. So something like this helps just kind of push it into my body and conceal it a little bit better. Okay. I do not have a weapon mounted light, and I've put a lot of thought in this. I've talked to guys, shooting world, preparedness community, that sort of a thing about weapon mounted lights, and I don't have one. I kind of want the TLR7. I'm not the happiest with the holster options that are available for them. There's not a lot of holster options that I personally trust. Yeah, it's kind of sketchy, the holster companies that make holsters for them. Yeah, and I'll say like at some point or another, I'm gonna move on from this. Yeah. This holster's been okay. Okay. That was my experience with my T-Rex holster too. It was okay. It was great for the first appendix holster. It was like $60 for the 40, $60 for the price. It worked for what I needed it to do. Yep. But it was just okay. Yep. I mean, it's flimsy Kydex. I shouldn't say flimsy. It's still pretty rigid. Mine's a little bit more rigid than. But I mean, it's yeah. They make sacrifices in every single thing. You know this as a machinist, but everything is a compromise. Yep. It is. And so eventually I will make a change on what I carry, because obviously I don't carry the Mag Caddy with it anymore very often at all. But the ones I've been looking at have been like the Incogs now that are on HSP's website. Yeah. But other than that, like you're totally right. The options aren't great. And I'm not going to carry, we talked about the TLR1. I'm not going to carry a TLR1 on one of these things. I might as well carry my Glock 47 or 17 at that point in time. And I might do that, but I also I don't really want to right now. That just sounds like a lot of extra work. I'd have to get new holsters. And guys, holsters aren't cheap. Like, I get that, man. I've spent a lot of money on this hobby. I've spent a lot of money trying out gear, testing stuff out, finding what works and what doesn't work. So when I find something that works, kind of like this, is it the best holster? Probably not.
But maybe for you.
But it works good enough for me that I've stuck with this holster for a long time. So, but instead of carrying a weapon light, I carry this. It's a Streamlight. It's their ProTac 1. It's a little bit shorter, so it uses either one AA or one the CR123 battery. It's fairly bright, not as bright as your weapon light, I don't think. Well, actually, the battery's dead because I took this to the range and I put a AA battery in there and they just don't last as long.
Yeah.
But I use this kind of for searching because when I was looking at the differences, I kind of looked around at night. And I'm like, there's not really a lot of super dark places in most cities.
No, there's really not.
One place I could think of would be the movie theater. And I don't go to the movies.
Right.
Once a year?
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. I think, we just went to the movies recently, and that's been the first time in a couple of years for us.
My wife likes to go with the kids sometimes, and I'll go. And it's like once a year, I think is about right. And I'm not going to make a decision on what I carry for a once in a year event.
Well,
so I just carry this flashlight.
And add on to dark areas as well, if you're being smart, most times you don't go there.
Yeah, so I don't walk around in dark areas as typically outside of if I have to do it for a professional reason. As just average everyday citizen, I won't go around doing that sort of a thing. So I actually am a big fan of just the weapon mount, the Streamlight, or just the pocket lights. I've carried one of their Streamlight little tack lights. I should have brought it. Problem with those things are I love them. They're AAA battery.
Yeah.
You'll lose them.
Yep.
Because the clips aren't great, and I've lost a few of them. Extra mags. I'll be honest, guys. I don't always carry an extra mag. I try to.
Yep.
It's a pain.
It is a little
It's
bit.
one of those things I need to start getting better at doing. Yep. I think I bought this from Tier 1 Conceal. This is one of their little mag carriers because there's just not a lot of great options out there for mag carriers that I've found. There's just not.
And the ones that get paired, like you have this Kydex one that's paired with this holster, but for the most part, like a lot of your concealment, there really isn't that I can think of that I see that are specific for concealment. I mean, that's pretty big and bulky.
This is very big and bulky, and if I don't get it seated on just right, like I have to really flex this, get this part behind my pants all the way up there, because if I don't, if I just get this little bit behind the belt right there, it sits up super high and it starts to link. So I got to push it down, get it right. I do take it. So I'll be honest, when I go on longer road trips and I go to bigger cities, like my wife's family's from Phoenix. So when I go to Phoenix, risk profile there is a little bit different than where we are here. And so I'll carry a little bit more. I'll carry this on my person. Sometimes I will, and I've talked to guys that just literally just throw the magazine in their pocket. Nothing else. There's no magazine pouch or anything like that, just in the pocket. Because realistically, as a concealed carrier, you're not doing a speed reload.
No.
You're going to be reloading after the fact, or maybe if it's an active shooter thing, hey, the guy's down. You're going to do a tack reload. Hey, there might be more I need to reload. So there's other options. Some guys I've seen carry them on their belts like this. I just have not found a really good option to carry one. And so I don't always do it. It's one of those things that I need to get better at it because I do think it's important for most scenarios. I do think it's important.
And the one thing I think too you can take into consideration, like you take this big rig, and I say and take into consideration kind of lightly because a lot of people I think get too wrapped up, especially new sealed carriers, are worried about printing, which it kind of is a big deal. You know, you don't want necessarily to broadcast that you have a gun. You're concealing it for a reason, but most people aren't going to catch a little bit of printing. Now you have a bigger rig like this.
It's prints.
It's going to print. There's nothing I can do about it, right? You know, body shape, unless I'm wearing a big jacket on over top. But when it's hot, you're not going to carry a big jacket, right? And so the pocket thing, like you said, throw it into a pocket, it works, but now you've got this kind of oblong shape. Like, you know, I'm a bigger guy, so my jeans fit kind of weird. To me, the trained eye goes, that's a mag. But to the general passerby, that's a cell phone. That's something.
How many people though are actually the trained eye? And I will say I will include criminals in with that because when criminals are looking at their victims, they're looking at stuff.
They're looking to see if you got a knife.
Hey, do you have a knife in your pocket? Hey, do you have a bulge right here? Do you have a bulge right here? Because these are two places where a lot of people carry guns, right? Do you have something there? That might make them more interested. Sometimes.
Sometimes, yep.
The really aggressive ones, the guys you have to be more careful of, that will make them a little bit more interested because, hey, he has something I want.
Yep.
I want that gun.
Yep.
But for most of them, they're like, I don't want to mess with that guy.
Yeah, for the
because
general.
I've had guns pointed in my face before is what they're going to sit there and say, because a lot of them have.
Yep.
And they're like, I don't really want to play that game again.
Yep.
So they're going to choose to pass on.
Yep.
With you.
Yep. Yeah, so I just throw that out there real quick. Like, don't be super paranoid about it because it's going to happen. But there are tricks to the trade to keep from printing. Like the deeper concealment that you have, that pad there.
The wedges.
That wedges help. Not holding it high up on the belt, actually getting it sunk down. Like this will sit on me. Like here's my belt line. This will sit on me about right here.
Yeah, I think mine's about the same. It sits fairly low, just essentially the grip is above the belt line.
Yep.
And then with the wedge pushing in, and if you notice, there's a common theme here. We're both running 19s, which have the shorter, with appendix carry. The thing that's going to print the most is going to be the grip.
Yep.
And so the shorter grips are a little bigger deal, which is very sad that Glock discontinued the 49s. But people weren't buying them.
Yep.
That's what I was told.
Yep.
So my holsters actually fits a 17 because with appendix carry, it's not really that big of a deal.
No, it's not. It's not. So those are just small things to take in consideration. I prefer concealed. We are in an open carry state, which is fantastic. Very Second Amendment friendly. If that's how you're going to carry, that's how you're going to carry. But the caveat that I'll throw to that is now you're broadcasting where the gun's at. So if somebody actually has a plan, and they do mean to do harm to you, you're showing where the gun is at that point, it's not a deterrent, right?
Have retention. I was looking around for a holster like the Safari Land,
ALS.
ALS, something that has. I've started off my whole carrying thing open carrying with the Glock. With the 1911. And I was stupid. I've made every mistake you can possibly make out there. He's probably looking at me like, how did you make it this far? Like, I've made just about every single
you could say the same thing about me, but
I've made most mistakes out there, guys. But I'm a big fan of concealed carry. I also, though, like open carry. I think it also,
there's a time and place.
It's time and place for it, guys. And I think almost at a more political level, I do prefer open carry because it kind of says, hey, guys, it lets people know, hey, like we're armed, there's a reason why cops open carry guns and don't conceal carry guns.
Yeah.
There's a reason why.
Yep.
It's because when you walk in there and you've got the pistol on your hip and you've got that presence, you walk in, you're like, hey guys, what's going on? Things change. We deal with that at work. We work on some unarmed security guys and people will start arguing with them. The moment one of us goes over, I'm not a big guy, guys. I'm not that intimidating. But I walk over, I'm like, hey guys, what you got going on? And they look at me and they see the patches and they see the pistol. And they're like, sir?
Sorry.
And some of that is just the badge and all that other stuff.
Yeah.
A lot of it though, guys, I'm carrying a gun.
Yeah. Yep.
And that means at the end of the day, everything I say will be enforced essentially with this tool.
Yep.
And so it makes a point. There is a point to open carrying.
There is, and I'll agree with that.
But most people can still carry, guys. There's a reason why the market exists. There's a reason why most people do it. I do it. Most guys recommend it. Real quick, very, very briefly, medical gear. Now, I don't carry this as consistently as I should. This is just a little ankle rig I have. I've got a tourniquet, mini compression bandage, 2 chest seals, and gloves. And that's about all I carry. Now, if you're going to carry gear, it got really popular, and it still is, for everyone to carry tourniquets. And the reason why that happened was, I'm going to nerd out real quick, was the TCCC, so the Tactical Casualty Care Committee, I think is what it's called. TCCC is the military's, what they do to look for injured service members when they get shot and under fire. They decided that tourniquets were the most effective tool. And so law enforcement agencies and civilians were like, tourniquets, yeah, dude, we're going to use tourniquets, bro.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm in the military. I've been in the military. You're carrying plates. And if you're going out like seeking after bad guys, you're carrying rifle-rated plates. Most of our enemies don't have the equipment to puncture those plates.
Most, yep.
Some of them do. Some of the guns can. There's always something that can. So that means most of the time, if you're taking fire, one of the places you're going to get shot is going to be your extremities. That's what the tourniquets excel at.
Yep.
Do you carry a plate carrier everywhere you go? When you're out with your family, do you carry soft plates?
Nope.
No, dude.
Nope.
I'm a bigger fan, if you're going to carry any sort of gear, chest seals and compression bandages.
Yep.
Because that's going to solve most of the problems. Because most of the time, and this is more useful than anything else other than just gunshot wounds. If you get stabbed,
Chest seal's going to get, yep.
Not even just stabbed, but if you have a traumatic accident, you get something through your arm, a tourniquet's going to be overkill. This is going to work. You get a piece of metal shoved in your gut, guess what, guys? It's not going to be perfect, but a chest seal will work. For anything in the torso region, in the thoracic area, yeah.
Yep.
So what do you got for medical gear?
Very, very, very similar. Quite honestly, I don't have a tourniquet in mine. This is a backpack. I don't obviously have it with me. And when I do, it's kind of incognito. It is, brown, right? But it's an Under Armour bag. It's made to carry computers, essentially.
Well, the tactical colors have become so commonplace nowadays that they really don't matter anymore.
Yeah.
And so has Molly. You go to Walmart, you can go buy a cheap Molly backpack for like $10.
Yep. Yeah, and so like I said, very similar. I've got some combat gauze here. Plug wounds with. It's got the fancy, I forget what they're called, but it's got the fancy things in there to help with coagulation of the blood.
Oh, it's, I forget what they're called, but yes.
Yep. I've got an Israeli bandage.
I've got some out of my medical kits have that. So.
Yep. There's some more combat gauze in there. And there you go. I've got a triangular bandage. So that's what I've got in there. Oddly enough, I found my third mag.
There you go.
Sweet. I've been looking for that. Cool. That's my med kit. I mean, essentially, I can plug holes with this. I've got two. This is kind of more of an IFAC type mentality. So this is for me if needed, but if I needed it, real quick, somebody that's down right there, I've got the capability to plug holes. I've got the capability to close a hole on like an arm or a leg or something like that to stem the bleeding long enough for medical to get there or something of that nature, or get them where they need to be so that a professional, because I'm not professional, all I know is how to put things in holes and hopefully that it works, right? And the triangular bandage, just a little bit more support, right? That's
very similar.
That's a med kit. Now the tourniquet, I've got a plate carrier. I've got a tourniquet on that plate carrier.
Yes.
Right. So the chances, it's not zero, but the chances of having a thoracic injury at that point,
a lot lower.
A lot lower. Other than blunt force trauma, if I do take it, which
this isn't going to stop blunt force trauma.
Exactly. So I do have a tourniquet on that, but carrying it in the bag day to day, it's not a bad idea to have it. It's definitely one of those things. It's better to have than not need. But there are things that can do the job without utilizing a tourniquet.
You can get most of this stuff super cheap at like a Walmart. You don't have to go get a combat gauze or a couple rolls of gauze, a couple pressure bandages. It'll be $15 maybe total.
Yeah.
And also, I didn't bring anything of it with me, but I keep more substantial med kits in my car.
Yep.
And so this sort of stuff is emergency trauma. So realistically, it's for me or my children, preferably my children, because if anyone's needs it, they're going to get it before I get it. The stuff in the car, I have enough to do a lot more work with it. They're just old military issued kits that we stopped using, and so I acquired them. And those are my refill kits. It's also useful for car accidents and that sort of a thing. But I think going forward, guys, hey, it's very interesting. We both have the same pistol, same style of holster, appendix style holster, some slight differences and other things like that. But overall, our gear and our philosophies are very similar.
Yep.
Get a pistol that works for you and just carry it. That's the most important thing.
Yeah.
If you were one of those people, you're like, hey, I don't know how to carry a gun. I don't know how I feel. Carry it around your house.
Yeah,
carry it around your house empty. Then, hey, throw a loaded magazine in it. Carry it around your house in your way you're going to carry it. Do stuff with it. I don't really recommend leaving the house without a round chambered in the magazine. I do not recommend that.
Yes.
I don't.
No, the idea that I'm going to draw and charge the weapon, it's just not like...
Just because the Israeli military did it in the 90s does not make it cool, guys.
No, it doesn't, because most of the time, like if you're deciding to pull that gun out...
It needs to be go time. You don't have time to rack.
No, well, and it's going to be arm's length away, right? Like piggybacking on the comment we were talking about earlier. If I'm pulling this from concealment, I'm going to work. Like the decision's already made. Bad guy's right here. more than likely, right?
By the time I can go to my gun, he can already, if he knows I'm going for my gun, he can already go after me. I won't have time to rack it. I might, at the angle I have right here, I could shoot him in the leg.
Yep.
And that might be like, oh, crap enough. And then I'd fix the malfunction and then finish the job.
But the idea and the thought of being able to pull from here, rack, and present, it's just not real.
However, to get comfortable inside the house, hey guys, you're inside your house. Do it. Do what you need to do to get comfortable to carry it. But once you decide to go out with it, which should be as soon as, right now, I don't leave house without a gun.
Yep.
Have a round in the chamber. Just carry your gun, guys.
Carry your gun. And again, shameless plug, this is a training channel. Get training.
Yes.
Whether it's from us, whether it's from somebody else, or like you said, dry fire practice. Like we will preach dry fire practice. Carry this surrounding house empty. Like we're in my garage. I've got pasties here. Practice, man. Practice from the draw, because drawing from concealment, it's
different.
It's different, right? You got to clear a garment. You got to pull and clear everything before you. So thumbs get caught. You've got crap on your belt. Like, get comfortable drawing the weapon. Get training. Shoot the gun. Get comfortable having the gun on you, and carry it.
I think that's a big thing. And now we could talk about other sorts of types of carries, bag carries, that sort of a thing. And there's a lot of, I've changed my mind on that a lot, actually. I used to be very anti it, but sometimes that's going to be the only way people are going to carry it. And there are steps that need to be taken if you choose to carry it that way. And we can talk about that stuff later. And
we can talk statistics. How many people die when they don't carry Appendix 2.
Well, and that's kind of the thing too. Like, there's a lot of things to go into it. I think the most important thing though is to kind of have the gun and also have the mindset of, hey, when it's time to use it, you got to use it.
You've got to use it. Yep. And you've got to know how to.
All right, guys, with that, just put in the work.
Yep. Put in the work, guys.